Hi there, I'm Aki from Aki Gaming, and welcome to another episode of My Waifu or Husbando is Better Than Yours. Each episode, we will be putting two heroes into the spotlight and see who reigns supreme over the other. First, they will be judged by all of their attributes, which includes their stats, weapons, skills, etc. Then we will put them into a battle simulator and see who's the better one when head on. Not only that, we will be also giving them their best possible skill build and put them into the ultimate mass battle showdown to see who will be crowned the winner of My Waifu or Husbando is Better Than Yours. Let's not wait any longer and introduce our contestants. Standing on the left corner, a Mamakun who is older than she looks. Likes candy but too shy to ask. The spooky monster, HMYRRH. And standing on the right corner, the final boss of Binding Blade, the demon dragon who serves Zephyr, the dark priestess, Idunn. So here we go. Dragon vs dragon, spooky vs dark. Who is the best red dragon waifu? Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready to rumble? Round 1, stats and skills. Let's start by comparing their stats. And HMYRRH has the higher HP, attack and defense, whereas Idunn has the better speed and resistance. The score is now 3-2 to HMYRRH. Next, let's compare their weapon. HMYRRH uses the Spirit Breath that has a might of 16. It grants her a defense plus 3. If she initiates combat and her defense is higher than foe's defense by 5, she makes a guaranteed follow-up attack. If foe's range is more than 2, calculates damage using the lower of foe's defense or resistance. What about Idunn? She also has a plus 3 defense 16 might weapon called Demonic Breath. It's effective against armored foes. At start of combat, if a negative status effect is active on her, or if her HP is lower than 100%, neutralize penalties on her and grants attack, speed, defense, resistance plus 4 during combat. If foe's range is 2, calculate damage using the lower of foe's defense or resistance. Let me get a glass of water. Spirit vs Demon. Who has the better breath? Half of the description are the same, with the former allows her to hit twice, and the latter is strong against armored with a combat buff. In my opinion, the developer created Demonic Breath just to cover a major problem they've created a few months back. Leave a comment if you do not think the flaming dude from MWIBTY spell is a mistake. Anyway, I will give it a draw for the weapons fight. Moving on, they are special. HMYRRH has Bonfire that boosts damage by 50% of her defense with a cooldown of 3. As for Idunn, she has Bonfire 2. It's another draw. Next, they are passive. Let's start with slot A. HMYRRH has defense resistance that grants her additional 2 defense and resistance. As for Idunn, she has fort defense resistance, a much stronger version of the usual fortress skill that grants her defense resistance plus 6 by inflicting -2 to her attack. Seriously, what are they even thinking? It's like having a close distance defense with such a small penalty. Don't overthink it, Aki. It's not worth your time. Anyway, the obvious winner is Idunn. Now, they are passive in B. HMYRRH has Vengeful Fighter. If her HP is equal or more than 50% and foe initiates combat, she makes a guaranteed follow-up attack. It also grants her a special cooldown charge plus 1 per attack. And guess what? Idunn has Vengeful Fighter too. It's yet another draw. Lastly, let's compare their passive in C. HMYRRH has Armor March. At start of turn, if she's adjacent to an armored ally, she and an adjacent armored ally can move 1 extra space. And Idunn has Ward Dragon that grants her plus 4 defense resistant to dragon allies within 2 spaces during combat. So who will take the last point? According to the rating system from Game 8, Armor March is rated 9.5 out of 10. And Ward Dragon is rated 9. The spooky monster gets a point for slot C. And that's the end to round 1. With a score of 4 against 3, the winner of first round is HMYRRH. Whoa. To be honest, just by looking at round 1, I could already feel how similar are they.
Anyway, let's move on to round 2, head-on fight. For this and the next segment, I'm going to use the battle simulator from Arctic Silver Fox. First, we are just going to let them brawl with their default skills, Ivy with no buff. And here's the result for one full turn.
It seems her and Idunn gets to KO their opponent while defending first. And in the case if Idunn combat buff is active for whatever reason, she will be able to take her down when initiating. But since it's a one-on-one combat, it will be a draw for the default fight.
Next, how about we give them some skill inheritance? As our usual practice, we will optimize their build for the highest winning rate.
For her, Spirit Breath, Bonfire, Fort Defense Resistance, Special Fighter, Odd Attack Wave, and an Attack Defense Seal. As for Idunn, Demonic Breath, Bonfire, Fort Defense Resistance, Bow Fighter, Odd Attack Wave, and an Attack Seal. And the result? Idunn gets to one-hit KO her on both faces because of her weapon effectiveness against armor. The only way her could survive is having Savilin's shield and a Bow Fighter. But let's be honest, how many of you would sacrifice her slot A for that? So it's fair to say, Idunn takes the skill inheritance fight. Which means the winner of the second round is none other than the Dark Priestess.
Before we proceed to the final segment, let's look back at the results so far.
Both her and Idunn has a win, so it all boils down to the last round. Would the spooky dragon girl takes home the title, or would it be the soulless demon dragon?
Let's find out in round 3, mass battle. For this segment, we will be using the same damage calculator as round 2 to calculate how effective are they against all the other heroes. Instead of looking at only their kills, we are also going to consider their draws and losses too. And the result will be in the form of percentage. Here's the formula. First, we will calculate the result with their default build. And here's the result for one round of initiation.
And her takes the first point with a winning rate of 89.1 over 57.6.
Next, let's have a look at the result for one full turn with attacking phase first.
The spooky monster scores another point with a difference of 17.2%.
Now defending first. Here's the result for one round of defense.
And Idunn did slightly better than her this time with 70.6 to 67.2.
Moving on to one full turn of defense.
And the Halloween Dragon immediately scores one back. The halfway score is 3 to 1.
Now, let's look at the result after inheriting skills. Who would perform better this time? For one round initiation...
Whoa, both with 98%, but the Demon Dragon has like 0.7% more.
What about one full turn by initiating first?
So close. Her leads this time with 98.9 to 98.7.
What if enemy attack first? How different would the result be? For one round of defense...
The Shy Mamakut has the higher winning rate of 59.7 to 57.2, 5-2.
Lastly, let's look at the result for one full turn of defense.
And her takes the last point. Hence, this marks the end to round 3. With a score of 6 to 2, the last round goes to the Halloween Dragon. Which means, ladies and gentlemen, having 2 wins and a loss, the winner of this episode of My Waifu or Husbando is better than yours is... her! Well, surprise, surprise. Usually, the newer hero would be better than the older one, especially looking at how Idunn was created to be the answer to go against Armored. But the result proved otherwise this time, and the reason is mainly due to their weapon. In general, being able to make a follow-up attack is better, but if you are aiming at the highest tier, having effectiveness against Armored might make your life easier. If we are talking about availability, Idunn could be found in the regular pool, so you might still have a slight chance of getting pity broken by her when she's not a feature. whereas her would only appear on Legendary or Halloween banner, and not to forget the recent concluded Anniversary banner as well. So, what's your thought on the result? Who is the better dragon waifu? Let's discuss.
If you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe and hit the notification icon to Aki Gaming for more interesting content like this. You can also leave a comment below to suggest who would you like to feature in a future episode. Thank you for watching and hope to see you on the next episode of My Waifu or Husbando is better than yours.